6:30, call meeting order. Council met with staff, met in closed session and gave direction to staff. All council members are present. Please stand for flag salute.
Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time together. We ask that you give us wisdom in our decisions and help make Corning a better place. In your name we pray. Amen.
And thank you for bringing Dolores back.
Yes.
All right, proclamations, recognitions, appointments, and presentations. Tonight we have presentation, Robin Campman, Public Works Engineering Consultant presentation.
Can we get the mic?
Yeah, let's start. Are you guys okay if I talk like that?
Sure.
Certainly.
Do you want let me get you the microphone.
I don't know if she needs it.
People won't be able to hear.
That's not an excuse to sing.
I'm used to being yelled at.
So I have been asked to give a presentation on the Public Works Department and what is covered and encompassed within the Public Works Department. So, Public Works is a general umbrella over multiple sub-departments, including airport, building maintenance, engineering, parks, water, fleet maintenance, streets, wastewater and sewer collections, and storm drain. And we're going to go over each one of these items a little more in depth. So our staff. We have the contracted public works consultant, city engineer, which is me. We have an assistant public works director who oversees the rest of the public works staff. We have 2 equipment operators, one of which is the full-time parks maintenance employee. 5 meter reader maintenance workers. This is a combination of water employees, sewer employees, some that do all, and 1 full-time meter reader that assists in the afternoon with the rest of the public works staff. A part-time landscape maintenance worker. This position is currently vacant and will be filled as of Monday. They complete all of the landscape lighting district landscape maintenance and the maintenance at our city facilities, including City Hall, the library, all the mowing for those items. And we have a mechanic. We have a public works administrative assistant. Okay, the airport. Items that we complete at the airport are general maintenance to the hangars, the buildings, the runway, lighting, electrical. We manage the FFA grants. We do project coordination, hangar lease management, and airport commission meetings quarterly. Building maintenance. We maintain the airport properties, City Hall, the fire station, parks buildings, the police station, the library, the senior center, and the transportation center. And the maintenance that we complete at those buildings are general HVAC system maintenance, filter replacement, and other general repairs. So if anything breaks and our guys can fix it, they're the first to get called before we call a consultant or a contractor to do the work. Engineering Public Works Director. So my role here at the city is to do the preparation, the bidding, the construction management of the capital improvement projects, private land development, project plan review and inspections. These are outside projects by private developers. Encroachment permit processing, public works budget and capital improvement preparation and management, the CIP plan. Technical report preparation and review from outside. Utility oversight, including sewer, water, and stormwater. Special event permit processing. State agency compliance, including the State Water Board, Caltrans, miscellaneous other state agencies that EPA, federal agencies that require our oversight. And then management of outside contracts, including janitorial, tree trimming, weed and pest, and additional ones that come up with additional work approved within the budget and the capital improvements. Fleet maintenance. General fleet maintenance is performed by our full-time mechanic, including fire truck maintenance, police vehicles, and public works vehicles and equipment. So this is a full-time position that takes care of 3 of our departments. Parks. These are all the parks we have. I'm not going to read through them. There's a lot. It requires a full-time employee doing maintenance and additional time from the other staff to help him catch up and do other repairs as needed. The items they do within the parks is playground maintenance, sports field maintenance, mowing, landscaping, irrigation, parks building maintenance when there's vandalism or things break, we have to repair those, and then pool maintenance when it comes swimming season. And if we have any smaller projects approved that our guys can install, they also jump on board and install additional play equipment. The storm drain. The goal is to clean and manage the city's storm drain system. This includes the drop inlets, so the DIs that are in the roadways, the drainage ditches, the storm drain pipes, and the retention ponds or basins that are placed within public right-of-way, like Stone Fox. We are responsible for maintaining that through the landscape and lighting district, or the trenches, underground trenches at a couple of the other subdivisions. The whole goal is not to have the city flood, like that picture, during the wet season. Our streets, a hot topic. We provide street maintenance, including pothole repair, cleaning the gutters during the fall months when there's leaves out. So they do all that so those leaves don't get into our storm drain. Leaf pickup and tree trimming, our favorite palm trees. Miscellaneous concrete improvements. Street sign replacement and repairs. Striping replacement. Road closures for special events, and then Christmas banners and tree lights. So in addition to all the other items, they do all of these items for our streets. Oh, miscellaneous landscape maintenance. Wastewater and sewer collections. So the wastewater treatment plant is city-owned but operated by Infomark, which is a consultant that we have on contract. Our plant treats our domestic wastewater collected within the city limits, and we're permitted to discharge up to 1.75 million gallons per day. And that's covered under a state permit. We also have our sewer collections, which is approximately 27 miles of sewer lines and 1 lift station. They do sewer line repairs and maintenance as needed when they get blocked or break. Lateral connections for any new services. Our guys make all the connections. And then fats, oils, and grease program, which is facilitated by Infomark. Any of the restaurants that are larger have a fats, oils, and grease separator to keep those items out of our treatment plant so it doesn't back up in our treatment plant and cause us to exceed our numbers at the plant.
Why'd you look at me when you said fast?
Just turning, sorry. Our water department. This department is very busy. We have 23 miles of water mains, 7 city wells, and 2,368 services. We maintain our city wells, which we have 2 certified staff to do this. They do daily monitoring and maintenance at each well. They do weekly, monthly, and quarterly testing as required by the state. They do all state reporting with assistance from our office staff, and they also provide or perform the flushing of the wells as needed. The meter reader, who's 1 full-time employee, does daily meter readings, daily turn-offs and ons when we have new services or people needing to turn it off for repairs, or no payment where we will turn them off. He also does door hangers and all of those items associated with the billings. And leak detection and meter replacement. Our new employee, who is our meter reader, has been averaging 2 to 4 meters a day right now on replacement in some of the older locations. So that way he'll be able to go through and do touch reads in those areas. So we purchased our allotment of meters this year, and he is actively replacing them right now. So we're really excited about that. Other water duties, this usually includes all staff members. It's when new service connections are required, or we have service leaks, main repairs, or hydrant replacements. This requires an equipment operator, multiple employees, road closures. This is our entire public works working at the same time. Any questions on those items? Huh?
That's it?
That's it. Any questions?
No, you did a good job, Robin. I don't have any questions. I do have a comment, though. I think our department's been doing a very good job. I know they've been fighting a lot of water leaks around our town. We do have a lot of infrastructure that's going to need to be replaced in the next 5 to 10 years. But overall, I believe we really have a good crew, good staff, and I appreciate the work.
When you start listing everything that they do on a daily basis, it becomes very apparent that they are going in multiple directions all day long.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize you basically have 7 people doing everything we need to do around the community. Because I remember a time there was probably, at least 10 or 12 people on staff here back in the day, and those guys get a lot done for being short-handed.
They absolutely do.
The only thing that I would add is I know that the council hopes to have 2 temporary full-time maintenance workers hired on this summer to help offset the work of our crew members to help allow more road maintenance to be done. We tried and tried and tried to fill those positions without any success. So we can relook at that next budget season. But there's just a general issue with being able to hire employees right now nationwide.
Well, hopefully when the extra stay-at-home COVID pay goes away,
It already did.
people aren't reeling from it yet. It went away a month ago, so I'm hoping that entices people to start going back to work.
And we're not the only ones lacking.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Sierra Pacific sign, they need 13 employees, and they don't have them yet. That's why the sign is still out. They contacted me today.
Thank you, Robin.
Fine job.
No other, move on to public comment. If there's anybody from the audience that would like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda, now's your time to do so. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak?
I just appreciate who's ever taken care of the park across the street from me. They do a wonderful job.
You could give that sentiment to just about every park in town. They've been working hard to keep them up, and we do appreciate the hard work.
They look better now than they
I did drive through the skate park area today, and I was actually impressed with the time of the year it is, how clean it was around the playground and the skate park area. It looked very good.
After the amount of people they had there, that's
Yeah, and it's still clean.
The park was beautiful for the Olive Festival. It was really, really pretty. I heard several people from out of town say, this is such a beautiful little town. So I was like, yay, that's our town.
All right, if there's nobody else with public comment, I will close
I
public.
have one. I apologize. I know I'm all
Last minute.
of any fun.
Hold on, let me turn this on.
I wanted to make one announcement. As you may recall, the Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus Relief Funds Round 1, the city allocated its dollars to the county to implement a loan program that's refundable if they comply with the guidelines of the loan program. They did not receive they received applicants, but they didn't receive any business that went through the entire process, unfortunately. So as you may recall, these funds were announced and applied applied for, I want to say in September of 2020. Unfortunately, the dollars in the contract by the state weren't actually made available until July of 2021. So almost a full year later, a little bit late to come out to assist our businesses. I think that impacted the amount of businesses that could take advantage of the program. They are now proposing to use those funds to support the new shelter that will be in Red Bluff. So stay tuned on that, but that's the most recent announcement I've received. And then the only other announcement I have is that our hospitals and ICU are still impacted. The state has opened up a surge unit in Shasta County that we've been able to transfer some of our patients to from Tehama County, which is helping out. And Jamie Bronke, the new executive director for the Health Services Agency, said that they are pleased that we are slowly creeping up with our vaccination rate in the county. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Yeah, if there's nothing else, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. There's nothing special on it tonight, so I'm not going to read it unless there's something that somebody'd like to have pulled or discussed. If not, do I have a motion?
I move we accept consent agenda items 2 through 9.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This will pass unanimous. Nothing removed from that, no public hearings or meetings. Moving on to the regular agenda. Excuse me. Item J10, adopt resolution 10/12/2021-01, authorizing submittal of a State of California Small Community Drought Relief Grant. That would be Christina.
Yes, thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, this state is strongly encouraging communities that have been impacted by drought to apply for funding through their Small Community Drought Relief Program.
Up here.
Robin Campman.
She can't hear you. She wants to report on it.
Okay, do you still have the microphone?
I put it back up.
Oh, you do?
Sorry.
Yeah, I apologize. I know that people can't hear, so I can be the first one then.
So to make sure she hears you correctly when she writes it in the paper.
Yes, exactly.
She won't get it right.
I know.
She's always very good about calling me. So the state's strongly encouraging those communities that have been had residences that are impacted by the drought to apply for the funds through the Small Community Drought Relief Program. As a result, Robin Campman, city engineer, and I worked together very quickly to develop an application on behalf of the city to install 3 new municipal wells and extend water mains and laterals within the city's sphere of influence to Viola Road, west across Interstate 5, north to Fennell, and east across Interstate 5 to create a loop system. One well will also be constructed to replace an existing municipal well that was taken offline due to impacts from the drought. 2 additional wells will be constructed to provide a sustainable water supply for residential users in the unincorporated county whose wells have gone dry, if funded. An 8-inch water main will need to be bored across Interstate 5 in 2 different locations. The estimated cost to complete this project is a significant sum of money that is estimated at this time to be approximately $22,322,250. There's no requirement for residents to tie into the system whose wells have gone dry. It's an optional requirement. And there's no city match required. So there's also no fiscal impact to the city. This resolution that I'm requesting be adopted tonight is the required submittal for the state to begin processing the application that has already been submitted. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions the council may have.
First, I'd like to say I think this is an absolutely wonderful opportunity for the city to expand our water system and benefit the residents of the town, plus our sphere of influence people that are suffering. And by people hooking up that are without water, it will lessen the need, lessen the impact on people that currently still have water. So it will benefit them too, whether they tie into it or not. I think it will help them out a lot. I just think it's a wonderful opportunity that we desperately need to take advantage of.
So we don't know at this point whether they'll accept this or say, we want to go here instead, or Robin and I came up with these locations based on where people's wells have gone dry in close proximity to the city of Corning. There's plenty of wells that have gone dry in other locations, but it would be an extreme extension of our existing water system to do so.
And one thing I also want to make clear is that as we were looking at these areas also, we were looking at pockets within the city limits that we can't provide service to right now either. And we've included a couple of those pockets for our current residents. So we would be filling in a couple pockets and providing one well on the east side of the freeway to help facilitate.
Thank you.
So one well will be on the east side.
One well will actually be on the east side of city limits to replace the well we just took off.
I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's not very often a grant comes along like this that you can apply for, and that the state's actually pushing. There's not 100% guarantee we're going to get it, but we would be foolish not to apply for it. And if we do get it, not only can we help community members outside the city limits that don't have services, but it's also building a foundation for future expansion that's already put in place, that we don't have to try to come up with the money to fund down the road. I think it's a win-win for the community overall.
And the only other thing I would add is the city's applied for a considerable amount of grants in the recent past. When and if these get funded, we will have to hire a consultant to help the city manage all this work. We are just trying to keep up with as much as we can, even just trying to keep up with applying for what's being asked to be applied for. As staff, we've never been asked to apply for so many grants, whether it be coronavirus related or drought related. It's been a huge lift for staff.
I have one question on these wells. I know we're estimating what the usage will, we're estimating what the usage impact would be on them at this time. But how are we planning, or how are we looking at it, gauging the future wells, future need impact on these wells with expansion and growth of the city? How much extra capacity will the wells have is, what I'm trying to ask.
We haven't gotten that far into the weeds. We just know what an average municipal well will cost us and kind of the location and how we can loop the system together to get our pressures, but we haven't done that. Yeah, we will definitely have to meet all the state requirements for those items, showing that we have future expansion.
Right. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments?
I just think it's awesome that you guys are on top of this and keeping us right up there with all of these grants and things that are going on.
Julie? And I will throw in, I know you guys have been busy with a lot of grants, and we appreciate your hard work. Everybody, all the staff that gets involved with, from the park grant to the COVID grant, to this grant, everything we've done, and we definitely appreciate your guys' hard work. Even the part-timer. If there's nothing else, to have a motion.
I'll make a motion that the mayor and council adopt a revised resolution number 10-12-2021-01, a resolution of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Corning authorizing the grant application, acceptance, and execution for the City of Corning drought-caused municipal water well and system expansion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This will pass unanimous. Dave, could you read that one more time?
No. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal if we got funded for that.
Even a portion of it would be great.
Yes.
It's not as a
We don't
proposed
have an
law.
exact location for what it is.
I tried to figure it out on the map, and I was like,
It's in the,
is it?
it's in the agenda packet. Yeah, it's on page 34.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go find it.
That's okay, there's a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't see before.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the last item tonight. J11, approve agreement with MBIAH LLC and Corning Union High School District for Restore CrossFit Program implementation.
Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit of history here, hopefully really quickly, and then proceed with what I'm asking for the council to approve tonight. So at the end of the first cycle of Prop 47 Cohort 1 funding, you may recall that we had some leftover funding that wasn't going to be able to be expended by the end of the grant term that allowed us to expand the Tehama County Restore Program to create a CrossFit Restore Program for Centennial youth. And that took place right at the end of last school year. Those funds have been fully expended. That grant term has closed, so I cannot bill any more costs to the Prop 47 Cohort 1 funding. We still have the second cycle of funding, but all of those funds have been fully allocated. What we do have is we were allocated an additional $25,000 this year to support the recreation program. Originally, we were allocated $75,000 from the Promise Neighborhood Grant, and that was bumped up another $25,000 for a full $100,000 this calendar year. We've done some projections, and I'm completely confident that we have at least $30,000 of funding from the Promise Neighborhood Grant that will not be expended by the end of the calendar year. As of September 30th, in fact, we have $63,344 remaining to spend this year. And we have some winter programming remaining, and we have our fall classes. So we absolutely are confident that we have plenty of money to spare. And if we don't spend this money by the end of the calendar year, it also goes away. So within that, I contacted the firm that implemented the CrossFit Restore program to see if they would have any further interest to expand with remaining funding, and there was interest. The high school district was very thankful that we were willing to do so to support the Centennial High School students. If you have the opportunity to ever go on that campus, they don't have much opportunity for physical activity for those students, and these are our students that are in most need of services. So what this program will continue to provide is case coordination, therapy, and substance use treatment if needed. Because it's now funded by Promise Neighborhood funds, there's no requirement that the students being cited previously or the equivalent of being arrested. That's no longer a requirement. So we can actually open up the program to more students with this funding source. I'm proposing that we fund the program through December 17th. That's when the students go on winter break. It would fund 2 groups of 7 students each to attend the North Rim CrossFit Training Center. They would receive case coordination, therapy. They would work towards achieving a SMART goal. And this program as a whole has been extremely successful in reducing the recidivism rate in Tehama County. Those that participate in the program have a 5% recidivism rate as compared to the county as a whole rate of 25%. So we know the program works. I completely support furthering that to support the youth in our community. The second ask is we need to transport those students back and forth to the facility in Chico. And the school district only has a 7-passenger van available, so that's the limiting factor that we're dealing with, and that we would also need to compensate the teacher 1.5 hours per day for working beyond their normal working hours. It's all completely grant funded. The total amount I'm asking to reimburse the high school district for their cost is $5,126, and the cost for MBIA's services, including the North Rim facility, operational facility, is $21,886. And that concludes my presentation.
Well, I for one, I support it. For one, if we don't use the funds, they're going to go away, and these kids are, if they're a Centennial, they've had something go on in their life. There's a reason why they're there, regardless of what it was. Giving them this opportunity to expand their horizons a little bit, I think, is a great way to spend the money. I'm all in favor of it.
And there's no impact on the city.
Nah, it's grant funds that we spend or they just disappear, and we've got till the end of the year, and I can't see a better way for doing this. The program's already been established. We're just re-implementing it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not starting something off the ground and spending a lot of time that we don't have to get it going. So I'm definitely in favor of it.
And this is something that's already been they've been doing it already.
They did it at the end of the last school year. So the Restore program itself has been in place for years. The CrossFit component is a new element that honestly the high school students are so excited about. I think it's a really unique way to really meet students where they're at and where their interests lie in a positive environment. The students receive advocates and a mentor, and so they have a positive role model to work with. Overall, it's been a really positive program for the students.
Okay, great.
I'm very excited about it. I think we should get this going.
No? Anybody got any more comments, questions, concerns? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion that Mayor and Council approve agreement between the City of Corning and MBIAH LLC for Restore CrossFit Program case coordination in the amount not to exceed $21,886. Approve agreement between the City of Corning and the Corning Union High School District for the amount not to exceed $5,126. And authorize the city manager to make non-substantial changes to the agreement with city attorney's approval that do not exceed grant funding limitations or grant program requirements.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So passed unanimous. Alrighty. Moving on, items placed on the agenda from the floor, none. Communications correspondence, none. Reports from council members. Kelly.
Busy week. Attended all the fun activities throughout town, which was great. I mean, I think it was a great fall festival. It's a huge success. Saw a lot of people there. There's a lot of people there. A lot of people and not a whole lot of familiar faces, and that was a good thing. Busy week.
David?
I didn't attend any meetings, but the pancake breakfast at Fire Hall Saturday morning was a success. We had a lot of people there, a lot more than I really thought would probably show up, but it was good. I did not make the mixer Thursday night as I was on a rather long road trip. But the food truck Tuesday night was very good, very well received, I thought. And I neglected at our last meeting to mention a resident of ours that utilizes the pool quite often, we all know who she is, wanted me to pass on to city staff that the pool looked better this year than it's ever looked. And they were happy with Nate and all the lifeguards over there, said they were very accommodating and very pleasant to be around, and she just wanted me to pass on her thanks to everybody, you guys and the entire council for a great year over there.
Yeah, we like the positive feedback. That's good.
We get a lot of complaints, but
Yes, so I
didn't
wanted
really
to,
get anything
I
positive.
neglected to bring that up last meeting, so I wanted to make sure I passed it on this time.
That's good. All we can do is continue to strive to get better, right? Karen?
We have no meetings, but the senior center is having its second night of jammers. We were meeting 3 Tuesdays a month from 6 until 8. We're not meeting the Tuesday before the third Wednesday of the month. So that's clear as mud because it's the day before we do our commodities giveaway. But three Tuesday nights a month, we have jammers. And they are jamming right now. If you want to go over and listen, they'll be there till 8 o'clock tonight.
So Karen, there was confusion earlier.
Glad they're back.
The senior center is fully open again now.
The senior center is not fully open again because the senior nutrition program is not wanting us to be open completely. We are open for jammers, we are open for craft classes, we are open to many other things, but we are not completely open for everyone coming in to sit down to eat lunch.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
But we are still doing 45 lunches out the door daily to our seniors here in town. And those numbers have just been steadily rising. Last year at this time we were doing 30, and now we're doing 45 a day. Point of Christian Assistance is not quite open yet, but probably within the next couple of weeks.
Chewy.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce team did an amazing job, like always, this year, and I want to thank all the businesses that donated for the raffle. And then especially Cecilia from Bell Carter, who provided the olives. That was my task this year. For last year, there weren't any olives, and I made sure there was olives this year, and she made a nice donation to the chamber. So thank you, everyone that made it possible. Once again.
Well, it was a busy week. I unfortunately missed the majority of all of it. I had stuff going on, so I did make the pancake breakfast. And as always, we do appreciate everybody that is able to make it out to that. I've heard nothing but great things from everybody that attended all the events. So hopefully it'll be a huge success again next year. And that's all I got. Meeting adjourned. Got those signed, right? That's all I had to. Was there one for the high school, or did that just Christina?
I gave you both, but
Oh, they were-
Christina said she agreed with everything. What did you do?
Me? Nothing.